Hi, I'm Anna Simpson, Senior Director of Product Management for Compliance, Governance and Enterprise Administration here at Box. I work closely with Tom Cowles, our Chief Compliance Officer, and Leah Perry, our Chief Privacy Officer and Global Head of Public Policy, who you'll actually hear from shortly, to ensure that risk mitigation, compliance and privacy are top of mind as we innovate. In the last year, there's been a proliferation of AI models and an acceleration of adoption across all industries. AI is delivering a new solution to address what were previously onerous tasks. As such, AI could replace 30% of work hours by 2030. And not surprisingly, this raises a lot of questions and concerns around ethical usage, particularly as no AI model today has been certified against a compliance or a security standard. Generative AI models specifically identify the patterns and structures within existing data to generate new and original content. And there are many different uses for these models. Some of the opportunities which exist include things like being able to identify key data points within large data sets to drive strategy. They can also be useful in terms of summarizing large documents within e-discovery, as this can significantly reduce downstream legal costs. And they are even able to generate new marketing content based on just an idea or a premise. And this can reduce delivery times and also potentially reduce downstream outside spend. In saying this, until such time that there are more clearly defined regulatory guidelines, it's key to understand the problem that you're looking to solve with AI, and then evaluate the balance between benefit and risks. Tom certainly understands risk. And more importantly, he understands how to mitigate it. I'm going to pass it to him to talk about the important things to consider to ensure that as a business, you're making the right decisions about when and how to leverage AI in a governed way.
Thanks, Anna. Hi, my name is Tom Cowles, and as the Chief Compliance Officer for Box, I'm responsible for making sure that Box meets our customers' cybersecurity and technology regulations. But I'm also responsible for ensuring that Box as a company is responsibly evaluating and thoroughly vetting our technology partners. If we think back to the last holiday period, AI as we know it wasn't around. It is an exciting piece of technology that I am personally using throughout my week. I've used it to take key thoughts and points and craft an effective communication strategy. I've taken lengthy and complex documents that can be the tens or hundreds of pages, such as new cybersecurity or technology regulations, and help me more efficiently summarize and highlight the key points within them. Or whether it's just brainstorming ideas and variations on themes with my own team on internal topics. These are powerful and compelling use cases that I'm finding value with in my everyday work. And while AI is new, the way in which we evaluate technology vendors isn't new. We already have established best practices for evaluating technology, and these should be applied to AI. However, it's important to take into account some specific considerations when assessing AI. Let me share with you 3 key learnings that were important to us as we started our AI journey here at Box. Starting off, and probably most importantly, what is the purpose? What is the intent? What is the use case? What data do you plan on using AI for? Will that involve personally identifiable information, protected health information, or other regulated information? Will it be company sensitive or public information? Are you going to need to track when something is AI generated or not? Having a well-defined strategy for leveraging AI is crucial to establishing the necessary structure and framework to drive impactful use cases. By having a clear understanding of how you intend to utilize AI, you can ensure that your approach aligns with your goals and objectives. This strategic mindset will enable you to identify the most compelling applications of AI within your organization and maximize its potential impact. The second is technical controls. The classic third-party risk management items apply here. How is your data protected? Is it encrypted, both in transit and at rest? Who has access? What logs are available? What types of events should you be monitoring, alerting, and responding to? Are there shared responsibilities with your AI vendor that you need to be aware of? It's also important to understand where the processing occurs. Does it happen in the US? Does it happen internationally? Are there any specific laws with the processing location to be mindful of? But the most important question to ask and understand is, does the model trade on your data? And if it does trade on your data, it's important to understand a few key concepts, starting with, do they retain the data or discard it immediately after use? And if they retain it, is it for an indefinite period or for a fixed period? And when they delete it, how do they delete it? Do they anonymize the data, or do they know that it's coming directly from you? It's also important to understand if bad data is fed into the model, can it be unlearned? Using inaccurate data in the model will lead to poor results and a poor experience. And finally, contractual. And there's two important components here. The first is, what type of assurance reports are available? Do they have a SOC report as an example, or a framework that they can comply with? These reports can be a valuable tool for managing risks associated with your use case and your chosen vendor. And second, ensuring that the right legal framework is in place to protect information is crucial because it helps establish clear guidelines and obligations between the parties involved. By defining roles, responsibilities, and expectations regarding data protection, you are establishing the necessary clarity around your data protection obligations. This not only mitigates risks associated with your use, but also builds trust among your stakeholders, ensures compliance with relevant laws and regulations, and ultimately protects your valuable information from potential harm. To make informed decisions about implementing and using AI, it's crucial to have a clear purpose, a solid grasp of the technical controls involved, and the appropriate legal framework. This will enable businesses to maximize the value they derive from AI technology, and incorporating transparency and knowledge into these areas allow for organizations to craft a comprehensive governance strategy that aligns with their values and their goals. And here at Box, we're committed to providing transparency and knowledge on these key topics. And now I'd like to introduce Leah Perry.
Thanks, Tom. Hi, I'm Leah Perry, Box's Chief Privacy Officer and Global Head of Public Policy. In my role, I'm responsible for creating, managing, and implementing a global comprehensive privacy program that impacts customers and employee data. Privacy is at the very foundation of what we do at Box. From applying privacy requirements to our product design, policies, and third-party service provider assessments, we are proud to maintain many of the highest standards and certifications in privacy and data protection. In addition, as Global Head of Public Policy, I'm charged with creating and implementing our strategic approach to proposed policies, regulations, and guidance that may impact Box, our customers, and service providers. AI, particularly generative AI, powered by large language models, is at the very top of mind given my role. From working with cross-functional stakeholder groups to develop and eventually bring to market a product offering, Box AI, that addresses our compliance with data protection and privacy laws, to the staggering number of AI legislative proposals and the evolving regulatory landscape. Here at Box, we're committed to not only offering the best-in-class privacy, security, and compliance offering, but one that remains steps ahead. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, over 800 AI policy initiatives are underway in 69 countries, territories, and the European Union. However, there are certain common trends throughout each of these policies or guidelines. It's the need for AI governance, applying a risk-based approach on anticipated use cases in a company's respective role. That's why, when I was a panelist in a recent U.S. Senate briefing, I highlighted the importance of applying the U.S. Department of Commerce's National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, AI Risk Management Framework and its correlating roadmap and playbooks. This voluntary framework is for developers of AI, integrators of AI technology and their respective product offering, like Box, and for our customers, business enterprises that choose to deploy it. The framework applies a risk-based approach, and companies should apply it based on their respective role, anticipated use, size, and complexity. In doing so, the framework traces the entire development or product AI lifecycle. It recommends first that a company establish governance. This includes establishing policies, processes, and procedures that are all drawn from the following steps. Number 1, map. Here consider the intended purpose, users, usage, laws, norms, and expectations, as well as settings in which the AI system will be deployed. Number 2, measure. This means developing metrics for measurement of AI risk and evaluating the effectiveness of existing controls, regularly assessing them, and where applicable, updating these controls. And lastly, number 3, manage. The framework recommends managing AI risks based on assessments, including those from the map and measure functions previously discussed, that should be prioritized, responded to, and managed. Following these steps are critical to creating a comprehensive AI program. An important area to also consider is your company's use case. Companies should ask, are you planning to use AI for data tagging, identifying personally identifiable information, creating more structure to the treasure trove of unstructured data you might have? Or instead, are you planning to use AI to make automated decisions about a person's health condition, benefits, loan application, or employment? Your use case of AI will make a difference between whether you'll likely have additional requirements and legal obligations versus others. Now, let's talk about what Box has done to plan and continue to implement a meaningful AI governance program. First, we took a hard look across the company with stakeholders deeply involved and created a steering committee or governing body. In doing so, our program includes a second key function, which is examining technical enablement measures, such as encryptions, inputs and outputs, retention requirements, access management, administrative controls. These technical measures map to the Box AI principles and Box AI acceptable use policy published earlier this year, along with our own internal policies. Third, contractual agreements with our trusted AI service providers and the related due diligence process to ensure that the commitments we've made with our customers are kept, such as our resolute commitment to not allow customer content to be trained on without explicit consent. 4, mapping the security, compliance, and privacy certifications and determining those controls that would apply. And finally, 5, developing transparency and explainability statements and principles, policies, and procedures with related guardrails and, if needed, enforcement measures. The AI governance program will ultimately 10 times what we have already been doing. From our robust product design and third-party service provider due diligence and related integration processes, we've applied and continue to apply these learnings and so much more. We continue to remain committed to meeting our privacy, security, and compliance obligations while being forward-looking as the AI public policy landscape continues to take shape. Well, today, you've heard about the proliferation of AI models, use cases, and what should be top of mind when companies consider integrating with third-party AI service providers. We've also highlighted the NIST AI risk management framework and how Box has applied these learnings to the development of the AI governance program. Thank you again for joining us. And to learn more, please visit box.com.